topics and opinions expressed in the following show are solely those of the host and their guests and not those of W4CY Radio, its employees, or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to W4CY Radio or its employees or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4CY Radio.
Welcome to the Camping Show. I'm CW Getz.
And I'm Bianca Fogel.
Good evening. It's Wednesday, December 7th, 2022. We have a 44-degree overcast sky. Tell you what, I think it got 50 degrees today.
Not bad for the beginning of December. I'm riding this nice little warm wave that we got.
I think people were probably happy that I didn't put the Daisy Dukes on in my flops, but I could have. It was that kind of a day.
With the haircut, I can see how you can feel a bit confident, but it might be a little much.
Yeah, the topic of the conversation before show was my new haircut, by the way. So I don't look like that.
For all the hell I give him, I had to give him a compliment about his hair because I've been leaning towards the haircut direction, but
yes, you have
you really insisted on the 80s bangs.
I appreciate that. I will heal from those comments, but I do appreciate your honesty, and I think it does look a little better. My hair person, stylist, said the same. She agrees, concurred with your opinion. Yes. But I do appreciate it. Hey, I'm going to announce this now. A little different note. That the network has canceled us. I made that up. We are going to rebrand the show. You like that, right? We're going to rebrand the show.
I thought that was coming.
Next week will be the show will it will be the last episode that the show will be known as the Camping Show. Mm-hmm. And we are going to take 4 weeks off. Bianca and I are going to Tahiti and doing some filming. I'm joking. We're going to take some time off. I haven't had a vacation in 3 years, and Bianca, I think you probably could use one too, right?
Yeah, like a sabbatical of sorts.
There you go. I like that. So we're still in the planning stages, though. But anyway,
but don't worry about the Camping Show. We're still going to be here. We're still going to talk about the same things we're talking about today. Still,
and more
same
of the same
bat time, same bat place, all of that fun stuff.
Yeah, and we're going to add a few things. And this whole rebranding thing is because we're going to expand our the outdoor things and subjects and that sort of thing that we've been doing.
Because the show isn't just about camping. It's it's about a lot of things. So we want to make that known a little bit more and be a little bit more inclusive, I guess you could say.
Absolutely. Good way to put that. Thank you. So our first show then in January 23 will be on the 18th. And we will be called Outdoors People. So you can, when you see that on your,
love it. So exciting.
Good stuff. Well, tonight's episode of the Camping Show is brought to you by Campground Views, making camping easier.
Look at that. I'm just so excited about
Rutabaga
Paddle Sports again. Gosh.
Oh, good.
Rutabaga Paddle Sports, providing time on the water.
Tonight's episode is The Great Family Adventure with our special guest, Nick Troutman. Could you tell us a little bit about Nick, please?
Yes. 34-year-old Nick Troutman and Emily Jackson are defining power couple, both holding world champion titles, World Cup, and multiple national champion titles, respectively. With the addition of their 2 children, Tucker and Parker, they round off their great family adventures. Emily and Nick are each prominent figures in the river sport community. Nick has established several first descents on expeditions in Mexico, Newfoundland, Ottawa, Zambia, Quebec, and Hawaii. And Emily has taken the competitive freestyle scene by storm with a podium finish in nearly every event she enters, including 13-time Mountain Games champion. As fearless competitors, both Nick and Emily push the boundaries of the kayaking world, captivating fans and peers alike. Although most of the year is actually spent traveling in their 24-foot foot RV, paddling and exploring North America and abroad, continually promoting the outdoor life. The Troutman family actually reside in Walling, Tennessee. Together, the Troutman family enjoys spending time working on their new TV series, The Great Family Adventure, and appreciating all that the outdoors family life offers them. Welcome.
Welcome, Nick. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Well, thanks for being here.
on.
Appreciate that. Yeah.
So tell me, what is it like for you two rock stars starting off living in the same household? You guys have all of these talents. What does it look like in your family dynamic?
Um, I think it's probably like, I don't know. I imagine anyway, like any normal family dynamic. We each have our roles, and yeah, the like accolades and awards and all that kind of stuff, they kind of fall to the wayside when it's like who's making breakfast for the family or
Yeah.
who's gotta, do homeschooling or take out the trash or any of that kind of stuff. Like everybody, it doesn't matter about any titles. You still just have to kind of get the work done. So yeah, it's a pretty great family dynamic. Emily's she's honestly she's like Wonder Woman. She does everything and she's pretty incredible. But yeah, it's pretty good.
I think when people think of rock stars like yourselves and world champions and all that I think if people would probably, at least I don't know, sometimes people go, "Yeah, I'm sure they hire all that stuff, right?" I mean, it's that they don't do that. They don't take the trash out and mow lawn and things like that, do they? Or yeah.
No, I went to the trash and took the trash out like an hour ago. So yeah, no, I definitely don't hire that out for sure.
Yeah. Well, and so tell us about your TV series, The Great Family Adventure. How just kind of tell us what it started out to be, how you came up with the idea, and where it's gone since you started.
Yeah, so where I came up with the idea was a combination of the fact that I love exploring and adventuring with my family, and brands and partners and people started kind of reaching out with more of a want and need for this family adventure content, more or less. And we were already doing it, and kind of we did making content, like whether it be YouTube or Facebook or different things like that, or Instagram, whatever, over the years. And so I actually reached out to a friend of mine who owns a production company up in Canada and was like, "Hey, I think there might be a need for this whole like family adventure content." And they kind of felt the same. And so, yeah, I don't know. It was like a 3-year process of kind of going between brainstorming and it turning into a reality. But yeah, that's kind of like the gist of the evolution of it. And now we get to go around and do some awesome family adventures in some incredible places and document it. And more than anything, it's about sharing and encouraging that, so that hopefully viewers and families alike can watch that and be encouraged to go out, do with some adventures, get out there with their families, and just have a good time.
Nick, what did I'm curious? What did Emily say when you first presented this idea, and the kids are like, "You're going to do what?" I mean, was there any of that going on, or is that like, "Hey, we're in, man, we're in"?
Emily is extremely supportive. I have many wild ideas, and so she's just used to that. It's like I come up with, pretty wild ideas on a daily basis.
Yeah.
And so eventually she just like, "Sure, do whatever you want."
Really?
Well, more or less. And then like, it depends. I might have a wild idea, and then the next day it's a different wild idea. And so the first one kind of falls off.
I
But
can
if
see some wives going, "The hell you are! You're gonna film us." I'm going, "Wait a minute, how much?
Yeah.
What are we going to film?" I can see that, but none of that,
Yeah.
though, huh? She was very supportive.
She's pretty supportive. I mean, we I guess, if you want to call us rock stars, which you said in the title, which I find that
Well, you do have the
ju-
new album coming out, right?
well, not a new album, but it's still kind of an interesting way to think about it. But our lives have been, at least at a minimal, documented for
Sure.
years.
Very public.
And so yeah, my father-in-law, he's like a 4-time world champion, Emily's dad, and so she kind of grew up a little bit, at least within our sport and our niche, somewhat kind of they grew up in the limelight, and so
Definitely.
and yeah, so for us to have our lives documented, it wasn't like that abnormal. So
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. She was pretty supportive.
Pretty cool.
How hectic does it get doing a weekly TV show while raising a family on the road? But it seems like it's more of a lifestyle. So, with family life, things can get hectic. But tell me about your experience.
How hectic does it get on the road? It's not so bad. I think it's a lot easier when it's all we've ever done. I mean, when our kids were born, we were living in a trailer on the road from the get-go. So
Mm,
if it's what we've always done, it's pretty
sure.
normal.
Yeah.
There's no question that sometimes going to like a world championships or a huge event, whether it be the GoPro Mountain Games or whatever, and trying to homeschool, trying to compete,
Mhm.
trying to do, media stuff. It definitely you're kind of pulled in a lot of different directions at the same time, but everybody's really supportive. And again, I certainly wouldn't be able to do it without Emily. She does way more than the lion's share, but the fact that the kids are just really supportive too, like, it's what they've always known, so they're kinda really comfortable with it. My
Definitely.
son, he's 9, and he wakes up, at 7 in the morning, and he'll just, like, immediately go and grab his homeschool and start just, like, crushing it and getting it all done. Sometimes he's done before, like, 10 in the morning,
Wow.
just
Yeah.
because he's, like, super, like, enthusiastic to get his school done so that he can go do other stuff.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
so, it's some days are harder than others. I mean, we've definitely had the days too where there's a huge event and the kids are sick, throwing up at like, 2 in the morning or 3 in the morning. And you're just like, oh my
Yeah.
gosh, how are we
Oh,
gonna, pull this off?
mhm.
But I'm sure every parent has, had those days and stuff like
Definitely.
that. So yeah, I don't know. You take it one day at a time.
That sounds amazing. I was the kid that you pretty much had to either beat me or threaten me with something before I would finish that homework fast and early. That's just me. I'm like, no, I'd rather go do the fun stuff first. And
I no, I would have been sitting there trying to get everything done too, just I
yeah,
wanna go outside and play.
you kids
Yeah.
are smart. I was the other side of the fence there. Nick, I was going to ask you. You do a podcast also. Is the podcast then separate from the TV show, or is it like ours? Is basically the same show?
Yeah, no, it's a great question. It is separate from the TV show. So the TV show is called The Great Family Adventure, and it's definitely all about family and adventure and exploring
Mhm.
and adventuring stuff like that. The podcast is called The Art of Awesome, and that's more of a side project that I started during COVID more than anything in 2020. The events were canceled and stuff, and I was like, okay, what am I going to do? And I'd always kind of thought of doing this podcast, and it's more about I guess personal growth and I don't know a lot of different vast subjects, whether it be entrepreneurial, business, health and fitness, athleticism, a lot of kayaking specific stuff, but kind of just a very wide range of subjects and people that I get to interview. And it's really just great and fun conversations about, yeah, how to be a little bit better than you were the day before.
How long have you been doing both the podcast and the show?
I guess both of them probably started the podcast started I think in 2020, so about 2 years.
Okay.
And the show I think started in 2020. Maybe it was like 2021, spring 2021 maybe is when the first
Okay.
show when we actually did filmed our first episode. So just coming to the end of year 2 as well. So yeah, so I guess two and a bit maybe for the podcast and 2 years for the TV show.
Okay. Pretty cool. All right. We're going to be right back with the camping show with Nick Troutman. Stay tuned on Talk 4 TV and W4CY Radio. We'll be right back after this.
It is time to go camping. Introducing Campground View's virtual tours. You can tour the campground, see the sites, see if they are available, and click to book your perfect spot. Hit the open road and explore the amazing places found in nature. We make it easy to discover, find, and book your site so that you can go have the fun and freedom you seek. Campground View's virtual tours make it easy and simple for you to see where you are going.
A few years ago, someone asked Rutabaga's owner, Darren Bush, "Hey, how long have you guys been selling boats?" Darren replied, "We don't sell boats. We sell time on the water." Of course, that comes in all types. We help people paddle more safely with Rutabaga outdoor programs. We rent canoes, kayaks, and stand-up paddleboards. We sell and install racks to get you from home to adventure. Rutabaga's got everything you need to get you out on the water, like paddles, life jackets, dry bags, and clothing. Rutabaga Paddle Sports, on the web at rutabaga.com. Mention you saw this ad on The Camping Show.
And we're back with our guest, Nick Troutman, here on The Camping Show. Nick, you recently published a children's book, The Little Girl That Could. Tell us a little bit about that and the motivation that was behind that book.
Man, you guys are pulling up all the different stops on things that I've been up to recently. Yeah,
We
so
studied you, man. We stalked you for no, I'm sorry, I'm joking.
The children's book was more of just I'm a very goal-oriented person. And so I don't know, a couple years back, I out of the blue came up with this idea. I should write a children's book, being that I read, children's books to my kids every night. And so I thought of like a story that my parents or grandparents kind of like told me when I was a kid, and made some like iterations and my own twist to it. But yeah, it was more than anything just it's an encouraging story about this little girl that wants to chase her dreams, and about the obstacles that she needs to overcome, and the doubt and the fear and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, how she pushes through it. So more than anything, it's just, it's designed to inspire people to chase their dreams and overcome the obstacles along the way.
Very cool.
Yeah.
You and Emily are also involved in the nonprofit organization in Uganda, Soft Power Health. Tell us about that a little bit.
Yeah. So Soft Power Health is a nonprofit based in Uganda, and one of our good friends, Jesse Stone, started it back in 2004, 2005. We would go there all the time to go paddle on the White Nile, and while we were over there, and when she was there back in 2004 with my father-in-law, he got malaria and started raising questions about like, okay, well, how did the locals deal with malaria and all this kind of stuff? And she started realizing that that malaria is a big issue over there, and one of the top killers. And so she started this nonprofit based around malaria and malaria education and prevention. And now the clinic has actually, it's blossomed. People come from hours away, sometimes even different countries, to come to this clinic, because it's definitely it's very well known as being a great place to get medical care in that area. And so yeah, that's kind of it. Emily and I have gone many years to go help out with it. We've donated to it. Definitely, if you guys are interested, please check out Soft Power Health. They do some incredible work. I couldn't even tell you the countless numbers of lives that they've saved and changed. And yeah, definitely, Jessie's she's like a modern day saint for sure.
I'm going to ask you a quick question here before we go to another break. I'm just picturing the Troutman family in kayaks going down a river somewhere, or maybe a lake.
Mhm.
Do you usually all go together, or do you ever just send the kids out? You probably don't send the kid because they're pretty young.
Yeah, so Emily and I go out. Yeah, like we'll go out on our own for sure,
Yeah.
or I'll go out and then we'll take turns. If the kids are on shore. But if we all go out as a family, we're definitely together. I mean, our son's 9, our daughter's 6. my son actually learned how to roll his own kayak this summer, a whole bunch. We've been working on that for the past couple of years. And Emily, again, taught him everything. And so he's got a great role, and that's been awesome. My daughter still, I mean, she's pretty young. So when we go out with her, she doesn't wear a skirt or anything so that she can just like fall out of the boat if she was to flip over.
Yeah.
But yeah, we don't really send them out on their own.
Yeah,
There's
I
definitely
was
like,
wondering about that. And because you guys taught them from, I mean, basically since they were probably right out of the womb, I imagine, right? And I'm just kind of wondering, do you spend X amount of time during the week just sort of teaching them more and more, or how does that work? Or do you designate time for that?
it's less designated time and more just interactions, in the sense that we're around a river so much. And we really don't want to force it upon them, right? Like I don't want it to make it like schoolwork or something like that, where they're like, oh man,
Right.
we have to do kayaking homework. So it's more like, hey, we're going to go do this. And we always try to make it like a fun activity and encouraging. And we're still like pretty careful to try to make it always positive experiences. So, we try to look for warm days or warm water or just fun ways to make it just a fun, positive experience. If
Yeah.
it's like snowing out and, below zero, we're probably not going to take them.
That's what my parents did.
Living and learning by experiences. And, there's some scenarios you just can't make up. And if when in Rome, and if you're in that type of scenario, then they're learning as they go type of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Very cool.
But you are right. They have been, I mean, Emily definitely paddled still while she was pregnant with both of our children. And I made it a point to take them out on my lap, both of them before their first birthday, so that I could take them out before they were 1.
Oh, wow.
But they've definitely been paddling, since they were pretty much born on our laps, like in flat water again, before all that, haters come on and start ripping me apart.
The bad
Like, oh my
parenting
gosh.
trolls,
We banned them from
Yeah,
watching the
okay.
show, Nick. We keep them people away. Yeah.
Yeah. But
All
no,
right, we've got some photos on the way. We'll be right back with more of the camping show with Nick Troutman on Talk 4 TV and W4CY Radio. Stay tuned. Be right back.
It is time to go camping. Introducing Campground View's virtual tours. You can tour the campground, see the sights, see if they are available, and click to book your perfect spot. Hit the open road and explore the amazing places found in nature. We make it easy to discover, find, and book your site so that you can go have the fun and freedom you seek. Campground View's virtual tours make it easy and simple for you to see where you are going.
A few years ago, someone asked Rutabaga's owner, Darren Bush, "Hey, how long have you guys been selling boats?" Darren replied, "We don't sell boats. We sell time on the water." Of course, that comes in all types. We help people paddle more safely with Rutabaga outdoor programs. We rent canoes, kayaks, and stand-up paddleboards. We sell and install racks to get you from home to adventure. Rutubaga's got everything you need to get you out on the water, like paddles, life jackets, dry bags, and clothing. Rutabaga Paddle Sports, on the web at rutabaga.com. Mention you saw this ad on the camping show.
And we're back with our guest, Nick Troutman, here on the camping show. Juan, we've got some photos that Nick sent us. We'd like to have him tell us a little bit about each one of those, if you could put them up on the screen for us. There we go. Look at that. Man, that's a painting. You took that. You stole that out of a museum, didn't you, Nick?
Yeah, exactly. No, that was
Beautiful. Wow.
that's on one of the oldest lighthouses maybe the oldest lighthouse in Fort Myers, Florida, down where we did one of our episodes. And yeah, just a gorgeous area. There's the beach on actually both sides. There's like a road and like a point and a pier that kind of comes down. And so you can really almost get like a 360 view of the ocean. And we had an epic sunset, and yeah, it was really fun. Ironically, when we
is that
were
a-
up there, hold on,
Is
when
it
we
a
were,
drone shot there? I mean, how did you get that shot?
Yeah,
That's insane.
that's
Yeah.
a good
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to
question.
interrupt you, Nick, but I just have to ask.
no, it is. It was a drone, and so the
Oh,
funny part was is like the sun was setting. We hike up this lighthouse. We get to the very top, and the drone's up in the air, and they're like, "Okay, the sun's setting.
Wow.
It's perfect photos." And
wow.
literally, like right in this moment, my daughter's like, "Daddy, I have to go to the bathroom."
I know.
Of course.
That's hilarious.
Yeah,
Wow. How long were you up there before you said, okay, wait, it's coming. Wait for it.
yeah.
And then bam, here's the shot we wanted.
You kids
Uh,
must have so much patience though
Yeah.
to
Right.
be
yeah.
able to live the life that you guys do and just roll with it. It's probably taught them a lot of patience.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're pretty lucky. Our kids, I feel, are pretty patient. And yeah, we did have to kind of run down and run to the bathroom after this shot, but we were able to squeak that one in before, and yeah, I mean, we got lucky with weather, with the sunset, everything. It was a gorgeous evening for sure.
Just beautiful.
So that's actually the same lighthouse. That's shot with a GoPro, maybe like just moments before the drone was up in the air. And again, just a beautiful spot in Fort Myers, Florida, looking out over the ocean, and always fun. I mean, we spend so much time around rivers and probably way more time inland than out on the coast. And so just getting to be out on the coast with the kids and on the beach
Yeah.
was it was amazing.
Tell you what, that's a
Mm.
good looking family right there. And I saw that photo on social media somewhere, I believe. And it's very
Well,
cool.
we actually just sent that photo out for our Christmas card this year.
Oh,
So
wow.
Aw. It's a
maybe
good
that's
one.
maybe that's where you saw it, CW. Maybe you got our
Yeah.
Christmas card in the mail.
I know. Yeah, maybe that's it. That's right. That's right. But it's a very cool. And I'm looking at this as though it were maybe a fisheye lens or something like that.
Yeah, a little bit. It's
Yeah,
definitely it's a GoPro photo, so you get a little bit more of that fisheye lens for
right.
sure.
Very cool.
This one is up on the Ottawa River, actually, where I grew up and up in Canada. And this was last fall. So this would have been a year ago in October. And yeah, we had epic weather. It was in like 80 degrees, 70 degrees.
Oh, nice.
Gorgeous October weather and beautiful fall colors. I mean, you can't really see it exactly in this photo because there's a lot of pine trees behind us, but you can kind of see like in the corner that the leaves were just in awesome epic autumn colors. And yeah, again, we were just on the other side of this rock is an amazing little play wave, like so a surf wave that Emily and I were going and sessioning. And so one of us would go surfing, and then the other two would hang out with the kids and goof around. And we were camping, only a couple 100 yards from here. So yeah, it was an amazing day for sure.
Is that your dog in the photo?
Ironically, it's my best friend's
Oh,
dog.
wow.
I
It's just-
love
it's
that.
like they have a dog with them too. That's so cool. It's
Yeah.
funny because I can imagine, most people have family portraits done at some point in their, when their kids are young. I can imagine your family portraits are among the most unique out there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, we've got some pretty unique family photos for sure. And I guess part of that is just the fact that we get to go to some incredible places, and we're always trying to do some really fun adventures. So it bodes to unique family photos, I guess.
Yeah, I would agree. Very cool though, by the way.
This one, again, this was when we were down in Florida. This is Silver Springs. And something that I found out when I was in Florida is they just have all these springs. I didn't really know much about them, but they're freshwater springs, and just this fresh water bubbles up from the ground, and it's like millions of gallons per day. And so the water is crystal clear. And I think it's actually 200 feet of visibility underwater. It's like
Wow.
Wow.
a swimming pool. It's wild. And so we went out again, another amazing evening, and we took the stand-up paddle boards and went out for a family paddle and got to see some manatee, and we saw an
Beautiful.
alligator, a whole bunch of fish and birds. And yeah, it was amazing.
Nick, I was in a lake like that in, I think it was the Shawnee National Forest in southern Illinois, and same thing. I can't tell you how deep it was, but I lost an anchor at 75 foot. So I
Wow.
know it's at least that deep because for like the dumbass, I didn't tie it in the boat. And just bought it too. So I was like, I'm going to try this new anchor out. Well, that was a one-time shot, but
It didn't work.
it didn't that time. No, I have to say they work better when you tie them off. But that water, spring fed as it is very cool.
Yeah, super
Is it
cool.
the same way? Yeah. Okay. Same way there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Coming from the depths of the earth.
Yeah, it's pretty wild how the earth filters stuff.
Yeah.
This is our kind of camping and home on the road. This is our trailer and our truck and all the kayaks and our bikes, and just that's pretty much our setup with our camper.
That's nice.
Yeah, we absolutely love it. This photo is in Bentonville, Arkansas. Home of, I think they call it the mountain biking capital of the world, but there's some truly incredible mountain biking there, some incredible trails. Bentonville was it's where like the original Walmart is, the home of the Walmart store, the original
yeah.
store, and it's also
Right.
where like the Walmart headquarters are and everything. But yeah, some truly incredible mountain biking and some cool whitewater parks around there. And so yeah, this is just morning doing some breakfast and a little bit of homeschooling there, I think.
Nick, how long is that trailer, by the way?
Our trailer is 29 feet. I think
Oh,
it's like 32 if you count the tongue, but I think it's 29-foot trailer.
Now, do you guys beat the hell out of your camper like Dane, your brother-in-law Dane, or there was a story about a sprinter that I remember talking with
Yeah.
him about one time. He just beat the hell out of that thing.
Yeah, he's probably a little bit more rough on his than we are, or at least I don't know. We try to take good care of it, but I mean, we probably still beat him up more than maybe the average user. Yeah, I mean, we're on the road 6 to 10 months out of the year traveling. So that,
Yeah.
we just put a lot of miles in and definitely go into we try not to take it on some crazy rough terrain.
Right.
But I remember, you can't really see it in this photo, but our jacks, at the back of the trailer, it's got jacks and I think they're kind of low. Like if you were to go over a curb or something, you could clip them for sure and like
Oh,
break
wow.
them
Really?
off.
Oh.
And I remember picking it up from the dealership and being like, "Hey, are those jacks supposed to be like that?" And they were like, "Well, you're not supposed to take it off roading." And I was like, "Oh, yeah,
Do you
okay."
know what we do? Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
But no, we absolutely love our trailer, and it really is. I mean, it makes such an amazing home on the road for
Yeah.
sure.
Very nice.
Again, man, you guys got all of our Florida
Family
photos
portrait
somehow.
right
Yeah.
there. Telling you.
But yeah, another sunny day down in Florida, at Fort Myers. I forget exactly which beach this was, but it was one of the beaches in Fort Myers. And again, just the kids absolutely love being out in the ocean, putting on the goggles, going swimming. And so yeah, there was like some, gentle tide coming in, and my son Tucker there, he'd put his goggles on and he'd go right at like eye level deep, and the waves would just hit him in the face. And he thought it was the coolest thing ever.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
He'll be good behind the camera one day.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, this is a different summertime, but this is back up on the Ottawa River as well. We spend most of our summers, or at least a lot of our summers, up on the Ottawa, being that's where I grew up, and so we get to spend time with my family up there. And yeah, this is just a campfire out on the Ottawa, roasting some s'mores, some marshmallows, and it's somehow we roast s'mores and marshmallows. I don't know if we do it more than the average family, but I feel like we do, because it's like anytime we light a fire, we're roasting marshmallows for sure.
And I'm guessing you guys do a fire probably. I mean, I was thinking maybe you do a fire like every night. Maybe not though, but you guys are basically, I mean, are essentially camping. I mean, you're living in the trailer, but it's essentially kind of like a 6-month camping trip. Am I right?
Yeah, for the most part, yeah. So we definitely we light a lot of fires. We actually just got this this mobile fire box called a lava box, and so it just enables us to literally have a campfire everywhere we go, even if we were like in the middle of a city or something like that. So it's pretty cool.
Very
So yeah,
cool.
we definitely have a lot of campfires for sure.
A
This
little-
one,
Wow.
this one is
This is why you're a rock star. See, this is this kind of stuff, right?
Holy crap.
yeah, that's a waterfall in Kentucky. And yeah, I don't know how much I'm allowed to talk about that one, but anyway, it's
We won't tell anyone.
it's an awesome waterfall.
What's the story? Come on, Nick. We got to have a little story.
Okay,
There's
so
so much that I can see. There's a story there. So.
oh man, yeah. Well, this one, I kind of got my wrist slapped for running it. We got tickets from the state park, and then they wrote us up with the wrong ticket, and so they it was like a second degree trespassing charge and all this
Oh
stuff,
wow.
and then they
Wow.
well, they realized that that's like the equivalent of breaking and entering, so they couldn't write us up for that.
Jeez.
So, anyways, all this kind of ordeal, but we ended up.
Wow.
Ironically, they were like, "How about we'll just drop all charges and you just teach kayaking below the
Oh,
waterfall?"
jeez. How could they really
And
make that deal with you? I love it.
yeah, that was the
I
deal.
love
And so I was like, "Okay, that sounds
Wow.
good." Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
That
anyway, it's
is
kind of
funny. Yeah. It's like you hacked our computer system, but we won't bust you if you teach our people how to do that. I like that.
It was
Yeah.
a little bit like that. Yeah, it's kind
Community
of funny.
service.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How deep a
yeah.
drop was that we're looking at here?
I'm thinking, somewhere in the 50 range.
Okay.
I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't measured it exactly, but I'm saying could be anywhere between 45 to 55. I would think.
That's very, very respectable. I mean, look at that. I mean, and yeah, when you get to the bottom, and I always wondered about this, you get to the bottom and you got a big roller going on, of course. How you just shoot right out of that. I mean, that takes a long time to learn something that I would imagine.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we wouldn't encourage anybody to just go grab a kayak and go try a big waterfall.
Yeah.
There's a lot of years of practice and experience that goes into running something like that for sure.
Yeah. Don't try this at home, kids, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's very cool. And so would you do things like this? And I'm sure Emily does the same thing, obviously. Do either of you go, I don't know, honey, what do you think? Want to make sure you're back home for supper tonight, that sort of thing, or that ever conversation?
No, I mean it's so you look at that and it looks obviously intimidating, especially to someone who maybe isn't in that realm of kayaking. But when I make decisions nowadays of whether I'm going to run a rapid or waterfall or anything like that, even if it is like a something of consequence, I'm only going to run it if I feel 99.9% certain that everything's going to be okay. I try not to. There was definitely a point in my life when I was maybe 18 or something like that, where I was probably taking some pretty foolish risks. But now if I'm going to do something, I mean, things go wrong for sure all the time, but if I'm going to do it, I better feel confident that it's going to go right.
Nick, how nervous will you and Emily be when your children start doing this?
So that's the funny part, man. I've thought about this,
Right?
and I'm like, man, I hope they get into kayaking, but I don't know if they need to do everything that I do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, and at what age do you go, or I should say, at what point do you say, I don't know if it's age specific or not, but at what point do you go, I think you're ready for a 50-foot drop, how do you know how do you get there with your kids?
Yeah.
I mean, this is not just a student, this is your kids,
And is it the same with celebrities? You have these actors and their kids see them in these shows for the first time and they're just like, is that how your kids are? When they see pictures or they know that you're going down these waterfalls like this, are they impressed at all, or is this just the norm now?
It's pretty normal for them. Yeah, I don't know if there's much that Emily or I could do that would really impress them. And ironically, so Emily's brother and my brother-in-law Dane Jackson, who I think you guys have had on the show,
Yes.
he's also one of the best in the world. And so the funny part is if anybody was to impress him, it would probably be Uncle Dane.
Uncle Dane. Oh, wow.
But even still, they're kind of just like, oh yeah, Uncle Dane won another world championships, or
Jeez.
whatever.
love
It's
it.
just another thing. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
another day in the
there's
life.
not a whole lot that really gets them that impressed in the family for sure.
It sounds like a Wolfgang Van Halen story. Yeah, Dad did not, it's just funny. But I think that is very
Yeah.
cool. And I can almost see that actually when you say that. I can see, yeah, Dad just won another world championship.
Like,
I mean,
yeah.
yeah, how cool is that?
Yeah,
Nothing
So
new.
what is in store for the Troutman family in 2023, if I can ask?
Oh gosh, 2023. Ironically, I was just about to start making like I said before, I'm kind of goal oriented, and I was about to write down all of my goals for 2023. So I'm not certain if I have them all listed for you guys, but the World Championships will be in Columbus, Georgia next year, so that'll be pretty cool. It's only a couple hours from where we live. So we'll definitely go spend some time down there. We've got a couple new TV episodes that we'll be filming. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say where we're going yet or not, but we got some really fun episodes coming up. And what else is in? I don't know. I don't know what's all in stores for us in 2023. Probably a lot more adventures, a lot more time on the road. The kids, man, they keep getting older. Tucker will be 10 next year, which is kind
I've
of
heard
mind
that
blowing.
happens. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you
Yeah.
have
Fast, too.
do you have any specific goals when it comes to your kids? Like, okay, I want Tucker to try and learn this, or I want Parker to do that, or do you have any of those for the kids?
Yeah, I mean,
That was a loaded question, Nick. You know that.
I know. I'm thinking back at it. It's like, oh wow. I
I'm
mean,
like,
yeah, that
Emily's
yeah,
gonna go, how could you?
yeah, but I try not to make like unrealistic goals for
Sure.
others. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially, I don't want to put the pressure on my kids or anything like that. More than anything, just really go out on awesome family adventures and create
Mhm.
amazing memories with them. Um, if I could do one thing, it'd be like I'd probably work a lot more with Parker on her reading. That's something that we're definitely have been working on as a family with her. Tucker, man, I don't know. He's like I'm like almost trying to like rein him in a lot of ways.
I knew you were gonna
He's
say
like
that. Right
he's
in
like a
there.
Ahead of the
go-getter.
game.
Yeah. But in other ways, he's like super conservative like Emily and cautious. And so I don't know. I just want them to do what they love to do.
Yeah.
I try to, build and help create confident children.
Mhm.
And yeah, I don't know. A lot more fun for sure is coming in 2023.
That's a great perspective on your
Yeah,
children.
and that sounds
So,
like the best plan. Where can our audience purchase your book, The Little Girl That Could, follow your TV series, The Great Family Adventure, and your podcast, The Art of Awesome?
Well, the Art of Awesome is, I guess, anywhere where you listen to podcasts. Just type in the Art of Awesome,
Mhm.
Apple, Stitcher, Spotify. I think pretty much like anywhere. The Great Family Adventure is on Outside TV, Bali Sports, the Nautical Channel. But you guys, if you want to check it out on YouTube, the last 2 seasons are up there right now. So I think you just type in Great Family Adventure on YouTube. Otherwise, I'll send you guys a link. I think it's right there. Yeah, you got a link.
Yep.
And then where you
Why
can
don't you go
get
ahead and read that link so that our podcast people will know where to go, because they won't have the luxury of the visual like we got here.
Yeah, so the link I guess is at Great Family Adventure 4285. I wasn't even familiar that we had numbers behind the name, but I guess we do. So Great Family Adventure 4285, but I'm sure if you just go to YouTube and search Great Family Adventure, it'll probably pop up. And then if you guys if you're interested in my children's book, just type in The Little Girl That Could on Amazon is probably the easiest way to find it. Yeah.
That's great. That's great. That's great. Well, hey, Nick, we'd like to thank you for being our guest here tonight on the Camping Show. It was definitely a pleasure having you here with us.
Well, thank you guys so very much for having me. And yeah, it was a blast. So thanks for this opportunity.
Yeah,
Say
looking
hi to Emily
forward
for us.
to everything you're doing in 2023, and good luck on your future endeavors with the family.
Will do. Thanks. And same to you guys. Happy
Thank you.
holidays.
Thank you.
you
You
so
as well.
much. And we'd also like to thank each of our sponsors for bringing you tonight's show, Campground Views and Rutabaga Paddle Sports.
Be sure to tune in for next week's episode, reflecting on 150 episodes of The Camping Show with our special guests, Mr. Cliff Jacobson and Mr. Kevin Callan.
Until then, this is Bianca Fogel reminding you, learn more and do more. Good night, everyone.
See you next week.